Deshaun Jackson. The ball is like a one-man cold to Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson the only one catching it. Deshaun Jackson is the only one coming down with it. Yeah. Deshaun Jackson. D-Jax. Huge Redskins fan. Love Deshaun. Not a big fan of him throwing the ball on the 1 yard line when he was with the Eagles, which Robert De Niro mentioned in Silverline's playbook. Right before he got in the end zone, he just spiked the ball at the 1 yard line. Whatever. But you gotta take the good and the bad. You gotta take the good and the bad. You gotta take the good and the bad. I have to say, like, if it's racist or if it's anti-Semitic for Deshaun to post the Louis Farrakhan quote citing that the true people of Israel are the blacks and that the Jews are trying to keep them from taking their rightful place, so to speak. If that's anti-Semitic, but it's not racist to say that white people are keeping black people down, this is objectively true across the board. I think that's interesting. I think that's really interesting. I also think, like, wholeheartedly, who gives a shit? Because Deshaun Jackson is not the brightest bulb in the tanning bed. He's not a particularly educated man. The idea that he's a multimillionaire and plays football, that he should have some sort of, be held to some sort of higher standard is kind of nonsensical. Also, why do you want an apology from someone that's simply being forced? It's not genuine. Like, why do you care that he's now being asked to apologize and recite his position in a way that sounds conciliatory to Jews? Like, who cares? Like, do Jews really care what Deshaun Jackson's saying? Of course not. Like, no one cares. No one gives a shit. But it's the idea that he can be forced to apologize. Anyone who cites Louis Farrakhan as, like, gospel, probably don't want to take them too seriously. But the idea that we have to, force people like him, like Drew Brees, or anyone to apologize for any belief they have, and make it seem like, oh, they changed their mind, it's good now. It's not real. It's, like, not real. Like, why would anyone care about something? And that's the thing. Like, if you're training people and you show by example the repercussions for believing a certain thing or thinking a certain way, that's what happens. It's Pavlovian. It's not, oh, see, they were wrong. Now they understand. They've been educated. No. They're afraid of having their entire life ruined. That's a fly I have all the windows open. I always do when I do these podcasts. I know it's nice. But yeah, I guess it looks kind of gross. And I do have a kitty litter box in here. I bring my cats with me to the office. My office is an apartment. I know, whatever, I don't know. Makes it feel like more cozy. I feel like a bed in there. I don't know. Might be a good idea if I ever have a female secretary and I have a bed in my office. He kept a bed in his office, which just insinuated that he wanted me on it. I want $25 million, please, for the pain and suffering of seeing the king-size bed. It doesn't matter that he's gay. It's the insinuation, sir. I'm not gay, but you know what I mean. Things get a little crazy. Gotta be careful. I don't know, man. Like, just like, why can't people be genuine? Like, you're asking everyone to fall in line. And it's like, it's kind of scary because you're insinuating that it doesn't matter what you believe. What matters is that we can change your mind and that everyone can see that. Fear of reprisal. Like mice in a maze, or reciprocity with like a bunch of animals seeing one of their friends being prodded with a cattle rod or something. Like, oh, better not say that. Better stop farting in this field right now. That might happen to me. I'll just hold it in until they leave. It's kind of just fake. It's fake. I wonder if Daniel Snyder and the Redskins are holding off on the name change, the whole committee to determine, like, review until, like, the election cycle's over. Because obviously you don't want to make it a rash judgment. I can't imagine the name changing before this season. But goodwill and tangible value of the actual namesake, like, you can't. I don't think the Wizards ever recovered, at least immediately, from the Bullets name change. So the Redskins market cap, I mean, it's huge. It's like, what, a $3 billion, $10 billion? I'm not even sure how much they're worth, but a lot. These things are kind of retarded. God, stop. Sorry, flies. Nuts. Merchandise off Amazon. I mean, it's just like, I have a feeling it'll change. Even if Trump loses, I have a feeling it'll go back to normal a little bit. The kind of roll up of radicalism right now is kind of embellished because of the election cycle. I think the Redskins will have more time. And quite frankly, I mean, I just, these type of things are just so silly to me. Like, cowboys by a derivative nature killed Indians. Are they not, is that not anti-Native American? Right? Like frontiersmen, you know what I mean? Like killing the buffalo, taking out the Indians, last of the Mohicans type deal. Like, how is that not some sort of like spoken, the Indians baseball team, less of a market cap, less relevant. Like, the less they're worth, the less we're going to invest money into it. But man, I don't know. The Braves, because it's not related to skin color in the name. It's not. It's almost a brag on the brave. They're strong. They scalp you and they go into battle without guns and spears and bows and arrows. And dude, it's like, whatever, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get any of it. Man. Everyone is so afraid of everything. Everyone is so afraid of everything. No one can be themselves. Kanye West running for president? I just like, dude, like, what is he doing? Like, is it some sort of subliminal, you split the vote amongst blacks so that it helps Trump? Certainly doesn't help the left. You play this kind of like game, I'm against Trump. Well, if you're against Trump, the left will definitely come out against you regardless, because you are, if anything, you're only hurting one of the consolidation of voting blocks. Millennials who like your music and African Americans who might have voted for Joe Biden because they hate Trump, now they're voting for you. It splits it up, undermines the whole process, dude. They came out saying that you took PPP money. Well, Tom Brady took PPP money. So many people did. But the fact that they went out after you like that, like, it's so fast how easily they don't like you. Hello, little one. Mr. Hitchens is dealing with a baby kitty we have here, trying him out, Deckard, named after Harrison Ford's character in Blade Runner. I was about to say Tom Ford. Oh, yeah, I'm looking for a replica. Have you seen it? It looks absolutely divine. This black suit has been walking around. I don't know, I can't do him. The guy's so multi-talented. What he thinks, like, really thinks about everything. And I'm sure he's liberal, but I'm sure he has a personal agenda about things. Like, there are so many gay white men that run the record industry, the rap music industry, and they don't care so much about rappers using, like, saying like homophobic things all the time. Not so much. I don't know, because it sells records. It's all about money, right? Now it's different. This is a consolidation effort. But so many people are just like, what is right? What is objectively true and good? Like, the prize is the federal government, which is just exceedingly getting stronger and stronger. And like, so many people with the stimulus package like cannot pay for basic things when their work gets cut down by like a month or a week, or they live paycheck to paycheck and they needed those stimulus checks. So imagine when automation takes hold. Uber paying all those drivers doesn't pay them anymore because the cars drive themselves. Imagine if you just apply that to like so many jobs. They even have an automated bricklayer machine. Can I be sponsored? They have an automated bricklayer machine does the job like close to like overall over a long period of time more efficiently than an average bricklayer. But just imagine if like the machine got like really good and it was like 1,000 times more efficient, and they had an economy of scale where every like construction company could have one. It's fucking awesome. Oh, man. I know I sound like I'm unprepared today. The reason I'm unprepared today is because once again my guest was supposed to come on today. I had to cancel, so I kind of I had to wing it again. That's what I'm doing. I analyzed 2 financial companies today: Microsoft, Microsoft, IBM, and Alphabet. Fuck! I slapped myself. Did I kill it? Oh, fuck me. That hurt. I bitch slapped myself. It'd be funny if I like get knocked out on the camera from hitting myself. Getting hit by a parked car or something. I had so many good skits. Oh my God, I wanted to film today. Oh my gosh. I had one with the mask the other day. You know, people can't understand you with masks on. I go to places like to like buy something and I don't understand what the fuck they're saying. I'm like, hi, can you like make a choice? Like you have the screen, you got the mask. I just like kind of know by default, like at a grocery store, like, would you like any bags? I'm an asshole, of course I don't bring bags with me. Yes, I would like multiple plastic bags because for aesthetic purposes, I like to walk to the grocery store and walk my groceries back home. So I like to have multiple bags to even the weight and contribute to my carbon footprint on this planet. I apologize for wasting plastic or using plastic and destroying the ozone and so on and so forth. But hey, at least I have abs. Oh, these flies, man. I don't know. No one has like, everyone has to think exactly the same. Everyone has to think exactly the same. Nothing is sacred. Like, I think this or it's absolutely insane. I thought that all this shit was just gonna stay at like the collegiate level for like the millennial vote, like consolidating like dystopian ideologies of the future with, you know, young millennials taking that vote, consolidating with gay, lesbian, black vote for Democrats, and then soon blue collar workers will start to come over because they lose their jobs and they jump on the proverbial dole when the government starts doing universal minimum wage because of automation. I had no idea that it would get so big with retailers so quickly. And it's almost like, it's just like ramped up big time before the general election. Huge. I wonder what's next in the next coming months. Will there even be debates? Will, like the mask debates, will Trump be forced into a position where he either shows up to the debate wearing a mask or he doesn't? And the debate doesn't come on. It's like, you know, I'll debate Donald Trump, but he has to wear a mask. And Trump's like, fuck that. I mean, you lose sort of like this, I don't know, it becomes very impersonal talking to the camera wearing something over your face. You can't hear people very well. I notice that when I'm wearing a mask, like I have trouble like doing things like if I wanted to put on like glasses wearing a mask, I just like, you know, it just don't feel right. Everything just feels off. Like I don't understand it. It's like everything feels, my balance feels off. I feel like I could like walk into like a brick wall. It just doesn't feel right. The breathing doesn't feel quite right. I see people at the gym wearing masks. I'm beside myself on that. Why hasn't anyone sued Gold's Gym just passed out on like the deadlift machine? The idea is like some places they think that you're supposed to be able to walk around and wear the mask and you take it off while you're doing weights. Other places kind of have a stricter terminology where it's like, no, you wear the mask at all times. I'm like, how can you do squats wearing a mask? Like there's something about that. Also, the microbial like density levels of the disease itself and what the N95 mask actually prevents are like completely different. Like it seems like even less effectual than what people tout. The rise in COVID cases recently are a combination of a multiplier effect of R-naught ratios, where if you were like anecdotally around 25 people, friends and family, you write down on the sheet, the hospitals are then saying that 25 people are now likely affected and add that to the total. They haven't met them, they haven't been admitted. More to the fact, no one talks about how the testing is more readily available. So obviously the amount of infected is higher. The efficacy rate in terms of mortality is way down, 30-40%, right? And we could have shutdowns in certain parts of the country, like Texas. Austin does not look pretty. It looks like they want to go again. And that makes me wonder, how do you have the unemployment checks about to cash out, the extra government $600, and you still have a state of emergency in places? You can't do that. You can't have people like get evicted right now. Like that's wrong. You gotta fix that, man. That's messed up. I mean, in Cali, they're not doing that. It makes me wonder about the economy. This should be subsidized somehow, some sort of protection for small business owners, of course, because you can't. I mean, if you're renting, you can't forbear your rentals because those are like 1-year leases. You could have a 10-year like triple net lease, I guess, 20-year triple net lease. For people that are like year to year, say just renters, those people, what? I've heard of rental units going up as much as 30-40%. Their August people are coming out, like they signed up last August. 30-40% is what their units want. Like that needs to stop, dude. Like why didn't the U.S. government think of that? Like, of course these places, these real estate investment trusts are trying to make their money back per unit from the COVID crisis. I mean, it's still going on. Some people still are like making less than, like they basing them out that they can work, their hours have been cut, they cannot afford where they live. Moreover, they can't afford the new places because everyone in every apartment, ad hoc ergo proctor hoc, is raised their rents to make back the money that they lost during this crisis, which is still ongoing, where people are still getting paid less and getting less hours than they normally would, effectively leaving them fucked. I mean, $10,000 per person or something like that sounds about right. Talk about inflation, but I mean, inflation's good sometimes. I think we need that. Temporarily, and then let the dollar sort itself out. But like, people need money, right? Like this is a serious problem. I don't know. I worry about people like Chris D'Elia, if he, like, you mean you work your entire life to have a career, and like allegedly you talk to some girl that's underage on Instagram. She doesn't ever say that she's underage. She insinuates, or she says that he should have known based on her pictures. I don't know what that means. Like, 16-year-old, you should know. I mean, there are 24-year-old women that are like more developed than a 16-year-old, and there are 16-year-old women like way more developed than a 30-year-old. It's he should be more careful flirting randomly by floating through pictures on Instagram. Like, come over and do, like, I thought it was more substantial than that he like knowingly engaged, and even though he said he didn't, I thought the allegations were more, they're not, but like they can ruin you. Like they toss tons of money. Louis C.K. mentions his first act losing like $35 million, maybe more. It was off like kind of like 2 years, like $70 million, because of asking two women if it's okay to jack off in front of them, and they saying yes, but then after the fact saying, well, they felt like it was fight or flight, like they just like were frozen, even though they were laughing and giggling the entire time. I'm not saying these things are like objectively good, right, normal, should be permitted. I'm saying like people make like, it shouldn't like cost you your career. So maybe the penalty is money, but it's temporary. Like it shouldn't cost you everything you've built your entire life. It's not like Louis C.K. was making this type of money back like 10 or 15 years ago. He said to work his ass off for it. and the opportunity cost of not knowing that he'd be successful, right? Like just giving it all. And now everyone knows what he's into. Like he just like, everyone knows what he talks about his jokes. Like Obama knows what I'm into. Like that sucks. Yeah. And it's not like the most like asking people, is it okay if I jack off in front of you? Dude, my shit's more fucked up than that. I mean, I think most people's shit's more fucked up than that. It's not really involving other people. It's like what I think is like naughty sometimes is more intense than that. It's a little, dude, I don't, it's so weird. I don't know, man. Chris D'Elia doesn't drink alcohol, He just does his business, goes home. If he gets bored, looks at Instagram, beautiful girls text him, he's like, what's up? He's bombarded constantly, but apparently from a lot of women that have worked at clubs that he's worked at that have talked about it on YouTube, like he doesn't like go after women like a drunk comedian, like hounding underage girls and young girls, it's hard to tell how old they are. He just, this is all from like a phone, probably like laying on his couch watching, a movie or like working, like just randomly, okay, the girl's hot, yeah, what's up? And our girl texts him out of the blue, yeah, hey, how you doing? I don't know. I think we can be a bit more like considerate to each other. Like we don't. The idea that we're all setting up for each other is not attained. It's not realistic. Like it's just that you haven't been outed. The people that are the most critical aren't famous yet. Like that's the issue. Like you, the critic behind the social media, the bots, the fake accounts pushing the narrative. You're not You're not outing yourself. You would be just in the same position, making mistakes your entire life. Making mistakes from years ago. I mean, you can't really refute a 30-year-old allegation saying, "Oh, well, he touched my butt" or something like Hoffman, right? Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman. Jesus. Am I combining two people? No, Dustin Hoffman. I think I was combining Gene Hackman in my head with Dustin Hoffman, but it's Dustin Hoffman. Like that was one of his, alleged things. It's like unfalsifiable. Like I'm sure that I have done something myself where it's like I know I have, like flirting with someone who probably is find it off-putting, but like it's kind of a quid pro quo. This is about as far as it goes. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't go. But the idea that someone could say, "Oh, well, he should have known that I didn't want." Like, well, that's the whole point of trying, right? Like, if I leave it there and I fail, I have to deal with the fear of rejection, right? Like that's it. The idea that like I somehow failed you as a person or something, and not realizing I wouldn't have known had I not tried. And by trying, it's not a violation of like social decorum. This is crazy. But this is what it's like now. Not so much for the reasons that it should be. It's to control people. It's like a weapon. It's like if you get to a point where you have a voice and you acted like every man since the dawn of time, we will use those actions against you. So straighten up if you disagree with anything that we have said. Or conversely, if we want to substantiate our views, we will take down our own people to make it look more legitimate. It's fucked up, man.